are here today to protest against Reform UK being in Scotland because you basically attack immigrants.
Anti-reform protesters making their feelings clear as the party announced its manifesto in Renfrewshire today. And it didn't stop there as one protester heckled Reform leader Nigel Farage as he started his speech.
Now, if you have a look, you need a haircut, mate. You need a haircut. Well, yeah, you do. Wow. Go back to work. No, sorry, you haven't got a job, have you?
And given the massive hike in oil prices that has seen a litre of diesel rise by 20 pence to almost £1.70 and the price of a barrel of oil double due to the Middle East conflict, it was no surprise that Farage was keen to question the SNP's decision-making over the North Sea oil and gas industry.
The Norwegians drilled 49 new wells. 49 new wells for gas and oil as part of a projected 250 that they intend to develop over the course of the next few years. How many new wells opened up on our side of the North Sea? 0. And how many will open up this year? 0. We open up the North Sea. We create here in Scotland thousands of well-paid jobs, better revenue for the Exchequer, and with gas, cheaper energy prices for every household and every business in this nation.
But while Farage was focusing on oil and gas, Reform UK's Scotland leader Malcolm Offord made his position very clear.
Good afternoon, conference. My name is Malcolm Offord and I'm standing to be First Minister at Holyrood.
But while he wants to be First Minister, today was about the party's manifesto, and his key focus was on revamping the tax brackets and reducing the amount of tax people in Scotland are paying.
But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut taxes. Scots are overtaxed. Scots are overtaxed, overregulated, and it's just a continual process of hitting those with the broadest shoulders. So, here's the plan. We've got ourselves in a ridiculous situation in Scotland where we've now got 6 separate income tax bands, which is creating all sorts of disincentives. The law of unintended consequences is creating a lot of disincentive in the workplace. So we're going to cut those back to the 3 in the rest of the UK and align back to the 3 bands. And then we're going to cut them all by 1p below. So if you work in Scotland, you'll pay 1p less in each band than you do in England.
And from the Reform UK Scotland leader who wants to be First Minister to the current FM John Swinney, who had this to say about Reform voters while defending his party's record in office.
First Minister, some people make Reform voters racist. You told Scottcast that racism in part explained the rise of the party.
Some Reform voters are racist. Yes, not all of them. That's what I said in my full answer to Martin Geisler and Scottcast, that some of the people who vote for Reform are racist, but not all of them. Other people are angry and frustrated, and no wonder they voted for a Labour government 2 years ago, which has been an unmitigated disaster and disappointment.
You said you took responsibility for some of that. How much responsibility do you take?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I shoulder my responsibilities in a pretty straightforward fashion.
So you're one of the reasons why voters are going to Reform?
Well, I think times are tough, and I'm doing my best to try to address that. That's why I've frozen rail fares. It's why I've removed peak rail fares. It's why I'm taking tax decisions that are making people in Scotland pay less in tax. It's why people are getting better public sector day deals. It's why we've got lower council tax in Scotland and the rest of the UK. It's why we've got free prescription charges, because of the decisions I've taken to improve people's lives and tackle the financial challenges they face.
Leader Jackie Baillie had this to say about the Reform Party manifesto. The manifesto has been scribbled on the back of a cigarette packet and the sums don't add up. Malcolm Offord, as the Count Bin face of Scottish politics, a joke candidate here to do nothing but cause noise. While Scottish Conservative leader Russell Findlay said, Reform is the gift that keeps on giving to John Swinney. As well as unveiling pro-independence candidates, Lord Offord has provided a roadmap to another referendum and is appealing to so-called rational nationalists. Reform's tax-cutting pledge doesn't add up because, unlike the Scottish Conservatives, they have no detailed plans for cutting the out-of-control benefits bill.